Before we get to that next question, I would like to tell you about today's sponsor, MANDO. Have you ever been to a wrestling show where it's just a little too hot in there and you're just a little too close to everybody? Someone hits their finisher, they're about to win the title, you raise your arms up and cheer and you catch a little whiff. That's where MANDO comes in. In the MANDO starter pack, you get the deodorant for the pits, the acidified cleansing bar, and the acidified body wash for when you're in the shower, and their deodorant wipes to help you refresh throughout the day. For the cleansing bar and the deodorant, I got the Mount Fuji scent. Great scent for the fall in my opinion. Ooh, no residue left on your skin. And then for the body wash, I got the bourbon leather to make me feel like I'm just stepping out of some old-timey saloon or something. MANDO was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. MANDO is a whole body deodorant. We're talking pits, packages, grundle and balls, belly buttons, butt cracks, stinky crevices, stomach folds, and feet. MANDO is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10. With MANDO, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. I have 2 of them right here, but you can choose from 4 different scents that are all unique. Again, the bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. They even have unscented if you like that. MANDO also has a wide range of aluminum-free products available. MANDO Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, or an acidified cleansing bar, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes. All this and free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code for you to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code SCW at the link below. It'll also be in the description and the comments. Thank you, MANDO, for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. Welcome to episode 3 of, I almost said My GM Bros. We just finished filming My GM Bros, but this is 103 of the Stache Club Wrestling podcast. Whoops, sorry, I had you muted when you were.
Oh, it's all right. I didn't say anything. It's all right. No worries.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Happy Tuesday. Surprise.
Woo. Surprise drop.
Yeah, scheduling kind of worked out. We're gonna test out a little Tuesday.
Yeah, why not?
Something's, we're a lot fresher at Crown Jewel and Raw and all of that stuff. So we figured, hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's week has been started out hot.
Yes. It is hot here. Warm weather.
It is a little warm. And there's and this is maybe a little something to take your mind off of what's going on today.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little
happy SCW surprise podcast drop day, everybody. So yes, hopefully this podcast is finding you well. And
we did just, like I said, we did just finish My GM Bros, and that is the conclusion. No spoilers here.
No spoilers, but WrestleMania has wrapped up. WrestleMania is over.
Has wrapped.
You will be seeing that soon.
I feel like the crossover for people that watch it is also podcast crossover. So
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of the people, the loyal podcast listeners are loyal My GM viewers as well. So if you are, we appreciate you.
With that said, we got some business to take care of.
Let me go grab the belt.
The SCW Predictions Championship to take care of. Now I have my total points. We might have to run through yours real quick unless you have.
We do.
Okay. And things got a little dicey with the Tiffany cash.
I know the Tiffany one I'm not going to get any points for, but let me pull this up. Okay. So, yes, let me just, oh my God, this is not looking good. Okay. Yeah.
All right, first we had new Bloodline win.
Yep.
Jade and Bianca retain.
100%.
LA Knight won.
Got it.
Randy Orton and Kevin Owens,
Didn't
happen.
happen.
Which was my 7-pointer.
Yep. It was my 6.
Seth beat Bronson Reed.
Tough blow.
Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax, but we both predicted a Tiffany cash-in. Did not happen, so neither of us gained points from that. And then Gunther versus Cody won.
Yeah, not looking too good for me here. Not. I don't have that high of a score.
What are we at? You count it up?
Yeah, didn't take much.
Okay.
I have 8 points.
8? I mean 11-8. Not
11?
I had 11. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Not crazy.
LA Knight was my most confident one, and my least confident was the Bloodline, and those both hit. Everything else in between, nothing. So
yeah, I had Randy and Kevin were my 7.
That not being
Gunther losing was tough.
Me picking Tiffany to cash in hurt. Did you have Nia or Liv?
I had Liv.
Okay, I did
for
too.
what it was worth.
I did too.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure out an easier way. I mean, I hope she just needs to cash in this fucking briefcase so we can stop.
At this point, after what happened in that match, it's got to be coming soon.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sir.
Nice little retain ski.
I love that
for the SCW Predictions Championship. And what's next? Or is it AEW?
Full Gear.
Full Gear probably,
and then the next week, or I think then the next week or 2 weeks after that is War Games.
Full Gear is November 23rd.
I'm putting my money on AJ and Big Justice.
Oh yeah, they're at full. That's on the dark.
It's on the dark
right?
hour. Yeah,
that's insane. Oh
hey,
yeah,
at least
Big
the guy.
AJ.
At least he's a wrestler. At least he's a former wrestler.
Right.
So
I mean, he does. Say what you will. I'm not a fan necessarily of that. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see when he was like first popping off and like clips started circling around. He's got a moonsault in his bag. You know?
Yeah, he's got something. He's
not bad.
Yeah.
But all right, we
Anyways.
are going to start with Crown Jewel and look at kind of the what bled off on Raw. But start off with the most prominent stuff. Like we mentioned, the new Bloodline defeats the OG Bloodline.
Right move.
No one
Good
knows.
move.
No one knows what to call either of these Bloodlines.
Yeah.
You predicted. Props to you. Give you your credit. You did predict that Solo Sikoa would pin Roman Reigns, and that he did. Pretty clean.
I think that was the right move to make. I've been seeing there has been some critique online. I don't know if you've been seeing it. There have been people that are, the storyline is like there's just something, I don't know what it is. Like it's not fully hitting for me type of thing. And I think...
Is that what you're saying? Or that's the critique
that's what the critique I'm seeing.
Okay.
And in a way I understand because I think I may have mentioned this last week. I still do feel like this story is being a little rushed a little bit. Like... I think Solo pinning Roman is essential for the story. Like, I think that is such an important part of it. But I think that they could have stretched out. And I know it's crazy because, like, this Bloodline story has been going on for so long. And we're always just like, this is, like, taking too long to, like, build up, whatever. But I really felt like 4 years going into this reunion is like Roman did all this shit to Jay and Jimmy, and then they just like kind of within a few weeks, it's like not all is forgiven. Obviously, there's still cracks and there's still things that get formed, but like now Sammy's back in, and it's like
that's the thing that I don't disagree. I was fine with like the Roman and Jimmy stuff.
Sure, yeah. Those two I was okay with.
Now that also like Sammy and Jay and like those three are also making amends at the same time. Now I'm definitely a little more with you. Because like it feels like everything's happening at once and they're rushing it, and like Mania's not till April.
Right. Exactly.
You know? I mean, I get you do want to get to War Games. I understand that timeline. But yeah.
It's like one episode Jay wouldn't talk to Jimmy, and then the next week they're dapping each other up, and Jay wouldn't say a thing to Roman, and then all of a sudden
and then
Roman's saying yeet.
And then Jay's saying to Sammy's face, "You're not family."
And then
1 or 2 weeks later,
he comes to
you know what? You are family. You are actually family.
It's just,
you know?
I think in my head, this is what I think. I think if this happened this way, it would have made things a little bit more, it would have felt like it was hitting correctly. I think Bad Blood, I know Cody Roman was sick and everything. I think that should have been Roman Jimmy, and then that's when Solo pins Roman. Because you get that out of the way, Roman just comes back, so it's like, oh, he's back, but like, is he really the same Roman? You get that out of the way. Crown Jewel, they probably wanted Roman on the card, so like that's probably why they went through all this. But if they just skip past Crown Jewel, no Bloodline stuff at Crown Jewel, maybe you do Usos versus New Bloodline for the shits and like just to further it, whatever.
Or even like Usos versus like the Tongas.
Exactly. And but just keep Roman and Sammy away from it. And then by Survivor Series, you have all them coming together and they're finally together for War Games. That I think gives it enough time. Again, I'm fine with where it is right now. Like I'm happy where, things are and all that. Like I think it makes sense for what it's worth. I just do feel like, and maybe it's just me, but I do feel like the story is a little bit rushed. And they could have, I don't know, they just could have milked it out a little bit. I think we could have had a lot more great segments.
We've been doing a slow burn for 3 or 4 years. So it's
that's why I feel like it's stupid of me to
worked.
complain. You know what I mean? For like,
I mean, like I said, I wasn't as, like, I definitely get it. I wasn't as in that camp until we also started to get the Sammy stuff and whatever. And it's like, oh, well, now all of a sudden, everyone's friends, and obviously to bleed into Raw. So a couple things just to kind of cover our bases. The match alone, I've
was a good match.
I've seen critiques of the match. I thought the match was solid.
I thought it was fine.
I've actually seen critiques. I came off this show being like, my overall take on the show is not much besides the Bloodline stuff. Other than that, not much happened.
Story development, not much.
I thought most of the matches really delivered. So I was actually surprised to see criticism of like, oh, this was boring and no matches really hit and da-da-da. I hard disagree on that. Back to this original match though. Match was good for what it was. I mean, Jacob Fatu is always the highlight. He looks fantastic. Yep. Then we see the Sammy come down. We got a really cool just like Jimmy, Jay, Roman, corners. Sammy, all in the four corners. Solo is alone in the ring, and we get a big boot, or I guess a non-corner haluva kick from Sammy. Roman goes for a spear at the same time. I thought this. They say what you will about it, but like the execution of it with the boot and the spear, perfect. Hits Roman. That's where Jimmy's pissed and
Jay's
whatever.
Trying to defend Sammy, and then Sammy's getting pissed.
We're bleeding over to Raj to kind of encapsulate the full story. Sammy's out there. He's hyping up the crowd. The crowd's going crazy for him. They're also in Saudi. They're still in Saudi for Raw. I think it's important to mention. Sorry, I'm getting my thoughts together.
Jay came out.
Yeah, Sammy kind of explained himself why he did what he did. Jay came out. Jimmy came out. Long story short, Jimmy was back on the side of like, they had a nice back. I'm glossing over it, but they had a nice back and forth. Like Sammy was like, I'm not a bad guy. I just make bad decisions sometimes. He's like, Jimmy, you're calling me. You're the fucking bad guy. Do you know what you did? And talking about Roman, da-da-da. They're kind of parting ways. Jay kind of, like we were saying, is different from 2 weeks ago. Now Jay is like, no, man, you might not be blood, but you are family.
Yeah.
I see Jay Uso. I see Jimmy Uso. I see Sam Uso.
Yeah.
The crowd's going crazy.
He's like, come to SmackDown.
Come to SmackDown, talk to all of us, and we'll get it, handled. So on SmackDown, they'll cover what the boot was, and obviously it was an accident. We'll see that. Yeah. Obviously, again, not to reiterate what we've been talking about for months. That's the 4 in the War Games. Yeah. So that's what we're shaping up to. I like that. I think it goes to what you were saying about Russian. I love the War Game setup.
I do too.
I really love that 4. It's just that it's almost as if they're like, oh fuck, we have 4 shows till Survivor Series, and they're like, okay, we gotta get Sammy back, we gotta get Jay back. Right. Ultimately, I liked all of the story progression for what it was. Like I liked very, very just in turn.
You checked off a lot of boxes.
It is. Yeah. But zooming out, I definitely see how it's like a little rushed, but especially for Crown Jewel alone, when nothing else really happened, it was kind of nice to get this like explosive story
and
progression.
Open the show too.
It did open.
I mean, we'll see what happens on SmackDown with Sammy. It would be cool to me if like they hold out on it. Like maybe each week they're like, Sammy, please. And he's like, no, I'm not doing this. And then week before War Games, he's like, he joins in whatever, and you have the official match. We'll see.
Even on War Games, if they have a 3-on-4 and they're like, come on, Sammy,
and
come through, and he comes
through. Yeah, no, that would be crazy. We'll see what happens. But the War Games match is gonna be great. Like I'm excited for it.
On SmackDown, I think it'll be even more to your point if on SmackDown we see, Sammy comes out and Roman says yeet again, which I think was that was a cool moment. That was funny. But if all 4 of them come out of SmackDown all buddy out of nowhere, then I think that's even more to your point of like, geez, we could use some.
That's like we didn't even like each guy didn't even have
some
2
questioning
weeks.
here.
Each guy didn't even have 2 weeks to fucking like compose their thoughts and like ultimate forgiveness after a few weeks. But we'll see how.
And they, like we were mentioning, there's so like Jimmy has done so much wrong. Jay had so much reasoning, and I feel like we haven't really they haven't dug into how abusive and manipulative Roman was. Like I understand Jay and Jimmy being like, we fought at Mania, we're brothers, we do this sort of thing. You screwed me. Like
it's
I
easier
get that.
to justify the brothers making up.
But the Roman stuff, and maybe we'll see it on SmackDown, and maybe Sammy's gonna kind of shake Jay, shake some screws, whatever. But that's what's missing for me. Say what you will about like the speed of it or whatever. That's what's missing for me is really diving into why is Jay forgiving him? Like I get family, but you got to dive into the manipulation. Roman's got to maybe apologize or something. We haven't gotten that yet. So there's still some steps that need to be taken.
You know what they should do? What they should implement into the story? And I think it would be great television, great segments, and I think it just would be the comedy aspect too. Have them go to therapy sessions. Remember, like Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane used to go to the therapy sessions and stuff. Do segments where all 4 of them go to like family therapy and have them. This could be leading up to War Games. If you want to do the whole Sami Zayn thing, this way goes, fine, we'll do it, but we have to work things out. Be like, all right, let's go to therapy.
Right.
Like you just have a funny like 5-10 minute segment of that. I think that would be good TV. But maybe like
and it adds a new, because it's a new medium.
Exactly.
So they're not in the ring. They're doing the
new
vignettes.
Bloodline. This is like, you know, faces and stuff. The comedy aspect. Like I
would be critical of that. The criticism I would see, because they're faces and because we already got Roman Reigns going yeet, like I initially, because it is like has been a pretty serious story.
Yeah.
Initially, I think the criticism would be like, well, you don't want to, you know, not take them serious,
right.
But we crossed that line already. They're all faces at this point,
right?
And like we said, Roman Reigns already said yeet, so I think you can get away with some like tongue-in-cheek, like kind of funny.
You can have some fun a little
then you
bit.
can have that one moment in the funny thing where it's like gets dark and serious and like, you know, Roman, remember when you did this? Remember when you hit, you know, Sammy with the chair, you know, or Sammy hit you with a chair or whatever.
Quiet, and then the therapist's like, so Roman, what do you have to say about that?
Yeet.
It could be good. I don't know. It could be good television.
It's a crazy
I just
idea.
thought of it.
It's a bad idea.
If they run with that, I expect my royalty check in the mail.
But that's kind of Bloodline. I don't know. Do you have anything other than Bloodline stuff?
No,
to move on to?
I think the match was solid. I think it checked some boxes off, like we said, and we move forward.
We'll end up circling back to them, I think, for the tag title stuff later, I think. But we'll keep on keeping on with Crown Jewel here. We had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill retain their titles against Damage Control, Metaphor, and Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
I'm all mixed up this morning. I would say, there were 3. This match, Seth and Bronson Reed and LA Knight, Andrade, Carmelo were like match of the nights for me.
I enjoyed this match.
Everyone looked good. This was really, really strong. All the, you know, because they're in Saudi, they need to do the full body outfits. I think, the designers, whatever.
Deadpool, Bianca, and Jade.
They had those on Raw.
Oh, that was Raw. That was
Raw. But still, to your point, though, they looked good. I don't know. I guess like we were talking last week, my whole predictions were like, we even call Crown Jewel a glorified house show. I thought maybe they were taking efforts to get away from that.
Sure.
Apparently not.
No.
So whatever. Nothing happened. Like we already said, nothing else changed. I want Damage Control to take it. We'll move on to Raw later.
So, yeah.
Metaphor would have been cool. That was my number 2.
Yeah.
I liked your thought process of, you know, those women's tag belts are Raw, SmackDown, and NXT belts, and they're all on the same playing field. I also thought it would have been a cool idea to bring them to NXT for a while, get some shine there since they're not as prominent.
Yeah.
As it could be on the main roster.
But I think keeping them on Bianca and Jade kind of extends.
It's not a bad. I think we just chose other people because we wanted to change.
Yeah,
but ultimately, it's a good move.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
They're the stars. I think. I mean, looking towards the future, I think Bianca Jade match is in the cards, and I think we're still a few months away from Mania. If that match were to happen, it's a Mania match.
Yeah.
So keeping the belts on them, kind of extending that out a little bit. We'll talk about Raw again. Kind of what was said there, and what was going on in the women's division there. But yeah, I mean, keeps them together, and we'll see how the story plays out. But and everyone looked great in the match, like you said. So.
We'll circle, like you said, we'll circle back to it on Raw because there was, there was play out with like Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so we'll get to that. But ultimately for the match, everyone looked fantastic. I think it was a great showing for everyone.
The Doomsday finish where Jade had Piper on her shoulders and Bianca hit her. That was a crazy spot.
Really, really cool. We got having like Metaphor and Bianca and Jade kind of straight up just facing each other was really cool. Solid overall.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Seth Rollins defeating Bronson Reed. Yeah, I don't have as much of a critique on it. I did choose Seth.
Yeah.
I think it made this, to me, this was Seth's revenge match.
I get it.
You know?
I get it. It's just from my perspective, it's Bronson Reed did not look weak in this loss. I think the shot of Seth looking back on him with Bronson with the blood going down the side, and Rollins like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's
like that was a really cool shot.
My
right
take
there.
was like sure, Seth won, but Seth was looking back at him like, I did win, but did I just unleash a monster? Like I won this match, but like, this isn't over.
And he had to hit him with 3 stomps,
right?
With the last
and a super stomp.
Yeah. And for him to get up after. So credit to WWE. I had Bronson winning. I wanted Bronson to win because it's Seth. Like I know he's back and everything, and Bronson took him out, but it's like, it's Seth, and you've been working so hard to build up Bronson. So that's why I wanted him to win. Again, credit to WWE. Bronson still looked good. He doesn't look weak. I don't think it made him look, I wouldn't say it made him look much stronger, but again, that last shot I think did a lot to help him there. And again, we'll bleed over into Raw, but obviously that feud is, like you said, I don't think the feud is over.
Regardless of the outcome, though, I thought this match,
it was good. The match was solid.
One of the matches of the night. They went fucking crazy.
And you tweeted it first because I wasn't watching it live. I watched it back later. Bronson Reed with the MF Doom inspired gear,
sick.
So good. And I know
really
his
cool.
death anniversary was just the other day too, so it was kind of, it was a nice tribute to him there. But yeah, that was fucking fire.
Yeah, they fucking killed each other. I mean, I will admit, when I saw the MF Doom gear, I was like, maybe Bronson. Maybe I should change my pick. But yeah, a great showing. I think they both bounce out of this well. I understand, Bronson Reed winning would have helped the momentum, but especially what we saw on Raw, I think I like the story of like Seth narrowly getting the victory, and it makes Bronson Reed even more pissed off.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you get Seth's revenge, but also you go on to this next level of Bronson Reed even more mad, Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Probably the most critical match that I've seen on the card. We have Liv Morgan defeating Nia Jax. I'm not as critical. It wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't my match of the night.
No, but it was fine. We had 2. I'll count it 2 Tiffany teases of cash-ins where she runs in, doesn't cash in, kind of runs back up the ramp, makes her way back in. We got some Raquel interference. It was a lot going on. It was mainly this match was mainly for the interferences.
I mean, both
Liv and Nia looked solid.
Both the women had other stories going into this match, so it's just kind of they're trying to balance out all those things going on. Tiffany, Raquel, Dom, Liv, Nia. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best match. It was fine. I think the right person did win. Because like that Judgment Day story right now really is like the centerpiece of Raw, I would say, or one of them at least. So Liv getting this win I think is important because the story has become kind of stale and everything. So giving her this win is big. Nia knocking Tiffany over, so that's furthering their seeds planted of Tiffany turning on her at some point.
She was really teasing the cashing on
right.
Nia.
So that they're doing their thing there now. But yeah, I mean, it was the stories. It was a good storyline progressor in a way for like Nia, Tiffany, and then Liv and whatever she's been doing on Raw.
Like I said, I get that it's Crown Jewel and it's reconfirmed that's a glorified house show, especially after I think again everything except for the Bloodline. I think Tiffany. I think that was time to do it.
Yeah,
I think that was time to get the cash in. I really do.
I think they're really.
I'm not surprised they didn't, but
I think they're really just waiting and like doing a long burn for her face turn, because when she does it, I think she's going to turn face. I think she will be a baby face. So maybe they're just kind of stretching it a little bit, and plus the briefcase is money. Maybe they're selling it a lot in the shop, so they're like, all right, let's keep it around for a little bit longer. But
do we know who Nia's moving on to? Is it Bailey?
No, it's
Did they already have a number 1 contenders match? I can't remember. Did Naomi?
maybe Naomi.
I'm
not
sure.
100%
More
sure.
so, his point being is I'm just kind of thinking what's next for Nia
Right.
that's going to keep Tiffany involved and would get her,
I mean,
you know?
I would love Naomi to get a one-on-one match. That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
She's just been in multi-woman matches and all that. So I'd like to see her get an actual one-on-one match.
I'm curious. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I said this for the last pay-per-view and this pay-per-view, but it seemed like we got 2 prime opportunities for her to cash in. I'm curious now, like, are they going to be able to get that moment again? Or, like,
Right.
another... I mean, I'm sure they will. The answer is they will, but, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but, like you said, I don't mind them... Like, the longer they wait, the bigger face turn. The bigger the face turn is going to be,
yeah.
so... all right. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens ends in a no contest, and I honestly loved it.
Didn't need it.
Regardless of me not gaining 7 points, this is what it needed to be. First of all, the card was already getting. I mean, in Triple H's standards, the card was long.
Yeah, 7 matches, way too many.
Yeah. So I think with the story of Kevin just being unhinged and pissed off, and like Triple H already warning Randy, like, hey, like, watch out. But we, as much as we got like Kevin going crazy, we got some prime Randy.
Randy was going
Randy
nuts
went
too.
nuts.
Yeah, Randy RKOing Adam Pearce,
Yup.
kind of, getting physical and stuff too, holding his own. Yeah, I mean, it was a brawl. I loved it, but at the same time, I am a little critical of it because I think Kevin Owens just straight up should have just murdered him. I don't think Randy should have I'm not saying he should have gotten any offense in, but the whole thing here is how Kevin Owens is unhinged. This is the most dangerous Kevin Owens we've seen, and like he's coming after Cody and stuff. I think if he just murdered Randy Orton, a legend and stuff, I think that would have, one, gets Cody all riled up and stuff. Like, you took Randy out, my mentor, whatever, and then 2, it makes Kevin look more dangerous. The spots were sick. Him RKOing Adam Pearce, I don't know what that's going to lead into, besides it just being a cool moment.
Probably nothing. He's not his boss.
And that's what
not his boss.
I've been seeing a lot of memes, like like smart chess by Randy Orton for RKOing someone who can't find him. So that's funny. But like, again, I think Kevin Owens did get the last like laugh, I guess you can say, by with the elbow drop through the table. Like, he looked strong at the end of it. But
if they had an actual match, would you be campaigning for Kevin to like squash him and get a pin?
same thing, kind of, where like Randy gets a little bit of offense in, but more so kind of like just really trying to fight back. But Kevin has the upper hand the whole match, because I think that's the character we're going for with Kevin. Like, Triple H is like, I'm trying to protect you.
Yeah.
From what? From Kevin Owens trying to kill you. So that's my only critique. Again, I'm fine with how like it looked. It was great. Them two brawling was awesome. It furthers everything. Kevin looked good at the end. But that, I guess that's just the thing I'd say.
I see it. I think only because it is Randy. And I think because like my take was we saw Legend Killer Randy that night.
Right. I mean, it's not hard to take out. It's hard to take out Randy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
it's
I
not
think
supposed to be easy.
If it was like anyone else, and maybe if Randy was like I don't think Randy, we're getting in the later stage of Randy's career, but I don't think we're at that point of Randy needing to put over everyone and use, we're getting close. But I definitely, it would have been a different way to tell a story. And I don't think a bad way, like you said, if Kevin just, then you get like, oh, Kevin murdered the fucking Legend Killer and Cody's pissed. Like, I think it definitely would have worked. But for the sake of it being Randy and getting the I wouldn't say 50-50, I'd say 60-40.
Yeah.
Kevin
Owens definitely got more offense for sure.
But ultimately I liked it.
It was a cool angle for sure.
Well, and it's also what we were saying for what we were saying for Seth and Bronson Reed, that they should have gotten like a Extreme Rules match or a Falls Count Anywhere. Like, this match also should have been like which we ended up getting it, this should have been Extreme Rules or a Falls Count or whatever. Or a street fight, right? So I think like even not getting the stipulation, we still kind of got that little bit of
for sure
what we wanted.
A preview maybe.
Regardless though, I think on SmackDown we're gonna see something. I don't know. I think we're gonna see Cody still be like, hey Kevin, what the fuck? And I don't know. It's curious how we're gonna come out of this for sure.
Survivor Series is around the corner. Cody needs, and I mean, if he's fighting at Survivor Series, he needs an opponent. He needs a new feud. Kevin and Randy, are they going to have are they going to actually have a match? Like, is that still
Right,
going to happen
right.
at some point?
I mean, I would love. We haven't. Triple threat doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Not
we
yet.
haven't. We haven't
Not
gotten
yet.
that. We haven't gotten that Cody and Randy stuff.
We need that.
Unless they do like unless they're like a a gentleman match, and then maybe they get mad at each other in the match. I wouldn't mind Kevin and Cody straight up at Survivor Series. I think that'd be sick.
So Survivor Series, but then in December they have Saturday Night Main Event, and they're really making a big deal out of it. People, I've seen some people pushing for Cody Roman to have their match there instead of like their third match being at there instead of a wrestling.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know if I'm not all for that, but a lot people are making it seem like there's gonna be a big championship match.
I'm hearing. I think that's the rumor now. I think is Gunther Damian.
Well, no. Yes, you said for some reason I took Damian as Dominic, and I was like, wait, Dominic.
I wish.
Yeah, so
I wish.
So main event, Saturday Night Main Event is in New York, which is where Damian Priest is from. So that would make sense if that match was held there. But yeah, no, it's something. So there's a few things coming up that Cody can, defend his belt on those shows. So, but we'll see who's next in line.
Well, a couple more. We'll wrap up Crown Jewel and bounce to some more stuff that happened on Raw. But LA Knight retains against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes.
Match of the night.
Great match. This was a banger.
This was my match of the night.
The ending with Carmelo doing like the flip into Andrade, LA Knight catching them both for the BFT.
Oh my God, it was
really
so
good.
money.
Really good.
That finish was the fucking highlight of the night for me. It was so perfectly executed.
I will say, and again, I'm just sounding like a broken record. It doesn't matter. Crown Jewel's a house show. Nothing happening is what it's supposed to happen. But I did want to see Andrade or Carmelo take it. I think if they're going to have winning, something, right? I had Andrade. Yeah. If they were going to do like anything on this show, I think a U.S. title change would have been at least like something, again, to combat that, LA Knight is still over. Saudi crowd loved him. You were even mentioning last week how it's like his title reign doesn't feel done. It feels like he still has a lot of stuff to do with it. Fine. My critique is just I don't like how Andrade and Carmelo have kind of just taken the hit for this.
Yeah,
they got into their 7 match. Their game 7 got ruined. I thought this might have been one of the two able to conclude that in this match, and they both end up losing. So it's like you come out of this being like it does nothing. I don't want to say it does nothing, but like Andrade and Carmelo feel a little bit down the totem pole at this point.
I think the unfairness to Andrade and Carmelo, how that feud ended, clouds LA Knight's like reign right now and like where he's at champ in this match in general, because like LA Knight, he won it at SummerSlam, and for a year and a half, people have been begging for him to have a title or like anything, whatever. And he finally gets it. And I think at this point, it's like, you kind of, not you have to keep it on him, but like, we've been waiting so long, they're going to give him a decent title reign. And it does suck that like Carmelo and Andrade kind of got used to elevate LA Knight a little bit more when like, I don't think this was really LA Knight's place. Like Carmelo Andrade should have just finished game 7. Whoever wins is the number 1 contender. And then you move on from there. Like the triple threat match, you could have had it another time. You could have made it work. But what I will say is I'm fine with LA Knight winning because it's Saudi. It's a house show. So it's like, let him retain it and he can lose it on a bigger stage, whatever. But this still leaves the door open for Andrade and Carmelo. Carmelo got pinned.
Sure.
But like, man, he was the star. I think he was the star of the match. He was so good. And I think Andrade didn't get the pin. So I think that kind of keeps that door open of like, hey, like, you didn't pin me. Like, so you can kind of run with that too. But yeah, I mean, it extends the title reign. These two are still actively going to be involved in the title picture.
So my question is, do you do you think LA Knight moves on and just faces like one of these guys one-on-one? Like what's next for okay.
I think he faces Andrade next. I think that should be the next feud. Yeah. And then you can implement Carmelo if you want, or just keep him on the side and kind of wait for that feud to end, whatever. But I think LA Knight and Andrade should keep got that going. Because I mean, at the end of the day too, LA Knight screwed both Andrade and Carmelo. So if I'm Andrade, I'd still be pissed.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do. I also at this point wouldn't mind like getting something fresh
For sure.
either, you know.
Do
but also
do
like
a tournament.
tournament would be cool. Tournament, and then maybe like, you know, Andrade and Carmelo are both in it. Maybe they see each other in the finals.
Sure.
Whoa.
Match 8,
and they do the match.
Game
you know
8.
What I mean?
Game 8. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But regardless, yeah, like you said, a fantastic match. There's a lot to. U.S. title picture feels good.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest takeaway, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
For sure.
All right, main event, controversial. Cody Rhodes did defeat Gunther pretty clean, but it was the not a roll up, but he from the sleeper got his pins down.
Definitely, it was a. Did you see the callback? I forget what main. I think it was Bret Hart, Roddy Piper. Callback from Mania like 10, 11, 12. It was like exact.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it was a callback finish. You know, we were discussing of how, you know, we were thinking of who's going to win and how they're going to win. Goldberg involvement, Kevin Owens involvement. Nothing. Just like clean, just a wrestling match.
It was good.
Two professional wrestlers. Yeah. I thought, I mean, at the end of the day, it is for a championship in a ring, I guess, that we're never going to see on TV.
Yeah, we have yet to mention, because it doesn't mean anything. We have yet to mention that, like, you know, Liv won the title and, you know, Cody
before
won,
I
you know
continue,
what I mean?
one thing, that belt is like just
huge.
unnecessarily huge.
It's
like
huge.
It looked on. It's half of Liv's her, like it covers her entire body.
She was holding up. She's holding up both titles, and
it's significantly bigger.
It's like significantly
bigger.
big. Yeah.
Cody couldn't even get his ring. I don't know if you saw the after the show, but he tried getting the ring on. And it was like stuck.
Oh,
and he like forced it in. I'm like, bro, why'd you do that? You can't get it off now. But yeah, they wanted. He won a championship,
and they are keeping the titles. Like Cody kissed it and then put it in the case.
Like they won a ring and a belt that we're gonna see once a year. So like at the end of the day, it's like we're gonna remember this match happening and stuff, but it's not gonna mean anything, I think, for either one of their this doesn't hurt Gunther of like, oh, you didn't win the Crown Jewel Championship, big whoop, you know what I mean? And like I think the finish was like, now with Gunther, he kind of mentioned it the next night on Raw. I'm bleeding in a little bit, but he was like, we have to be better, and
I
stuff.
liked it.
So it's
Cody,
a learning.
He said Cody was the better man.
He shook his hand after the match. He was a professional. He said, "We were running this place."
Which people were critical about that. That's Gunther. Yes, he's a heel, and we've talked about this all the time. It's like, yes, he's a heel. Yes, he's the bad guy, but ultimately he is the most professional wrestler.
Him and Randy shook hands after the match.
So it's fine. I think that was
I have no issue with that. But yeah, I think I had Gunther winning.
Same.
But like, then once I saw Cody won, in my head I'm like, well, of course he
won. That was my.
It's their poster.
That was my exact same thing. He won. And I was like, oh well, yeah.
I mean, I probably should have seen 1000%. That coming. You know, so he's the poster boy. He's the one on all the shows, and so I get it. But if they play off it with Gunther being like, I need to be better, it seems like he's too cocky. He's overconfident.
He needs to be more serious.
And when he loses, it's because of that, and that he needs to lock in more. And then that can bring out a more dangerous Gunther. So maybe it's a good thing that he lost. But yeah, it was a good match. I thought it was a great wrestling match, and we move on.
Say what you will about the like the Crown Jewel Championships or whatever. One thing I did like though, you saw like Triple H coming in, holding up whatever.
They made it feel like a big deal.
The presentation, like forget the Crown Jewel Championships in the ring, whatever. But the sole presentation of like Triple H holding up like Liv and Cody, and like basically like these are the fucking two. Yeah. You know, like these are Liv, the homegrown talent. She's from the Performance Center. Cody, also home, you know, obviously left, came back as a better version of himself, but ultimately homegrown WWE guys. I really, and like Liv kind of dropping the character a little bit. Liv and Cody like shaking hands and talking. I like that presentation of like, these are our champions. The way the two top champs interact, I thought was really cool. They're both blonde.
Yeah. Big day for blondes.
But I liked Triple H, the kind of stamp of like, here's where we are now, and also for the future, and like, and they're two. If those two, Liv and Cody, are the two that are like the top whatever, like It's a great 2.
Yeah,
it's a really good 2.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that, because as much as it is stupid having a Crown Jewel Championship, they did their best to make it like feel important.
Yeah.
And the like inclusion of Triple H, giving them the belts and everything, really added to that. And also like post show, like Liv was talking and stuff, and kind of again like dropping the character of like
in the press conference.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and just kind of talking about like she's the world champ and was given this, was Triple H picked her to win this championship, where it's like she talks about like, people believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, like the fans and stuff. So she was very emotional about it, which was, again, like the belt might be stupid to us and everything, but to them, I think it's like a symbol of like
that's
trust
really how
like,
I saw it.
I think that's Triple H of you again, like these are our 2 guys, like you worked for this, like we're gonna reward you. So it's just one of those. It was just
thing. Yeah, for us it was a dumb title. For them it was a stamp of approval and like a hey, you're the
And I was laughing because during that Liv, it was Biggie and Liv. I don't know if you saw this clip, but they were talking about the Bloodline match, and Biggie is like. And he solo assaulted Roman's throat or something like this, to throat assault, whatever. And Liv just looks at him like I was crying when he said it. It was like, and he didn't like mean it as like in a joking way. He was like actually what he just kept going. And everyone was like, wait, did he? Like,
he did. Hey, to his credit, he did. We didn't mention it, but he did 3 thumbs, 3 fucking.
I wouldn't want 3
spikes.
thumbs to my throat. That's for sure.
I saw a clip of I think it's Zilla. Fatu.
Yes,
he does a Superman spike. Yeah,
I saw a video. They were interviewing him, and they were like, "How'd you come up with it?" And he goes,
"Yeah,
Superman spike."
Put 2 and 2 together. Yeah,
he's like, "I got the best spike in the game," or something like that. Super funny. But yeah, overall, what would you What would you rate the show out of 10? I mean, at the end of the day, like I thought it was fine. I don't know if it's. Like, I don't know how many matches I'd like go back to and like revisit or something like that. But I mean, for a Saudi show for a 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon pay-per-view.
That's my thing. I think
it was like a 6.5, 7, probably 7 out of 10.
I'm more of like a low 6.
Okay.
But like,
I was,
like I think all like it was an enjoyable, like in terms of wrestling, I think the wrestling matches were of high quality. Not and Bloodline stuff, there's a lot that happened, which I think if the Bloodline stuff didn't happen, I'd be way lower.
100%.
Then it's like nothing happened.
Yes.
At least you got that to start the show, and then you can kind of go on from there. It's fine. Like you said, it's not an all timer.
Yeah,
but we got good wrestling on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I give them credit too, because I do think this event was more unpredictable than usual event, so I give them the benefit to that. But yeah,
all right, we'll go over to Raw
Monday night.
Oh man,
or Sunday night. This was filmed on Sunday because they were in Saudi,
right?
And it got aired yesterday.
I'm fired up. Iyo Sky wins the Battle Royal to become the #1 contender for Liv's Women's World Championship.
Hype. That's gonna be a great match.
Fired.
That's gonna be a great match. Yeah, that's awesome.
Iyo Sky. I say it on Twitter all the time. I say it on here. Genuinely, with no doubt in my heart, Iyo Sky is the best women's wrestler on the planet. I think when it's all said and done, genuinely, unless because like the people keep evolving and evolving, but I think she's gonna be in the argument for greatest of all
potential,
time.
Go potential,
yeah, and not just a throw around goat, but like I think she's the best.
Hey man, she's incredible.
I loved like when she won, like her hitting that fucking suplex. The fucking, I'm sure there's a word for it, 'cause she landed more on Lyra landed more on her neck, and then staying in that bridge. Like when she won, she stayed in the bridge, and like she was on the apron, and she was still kind of like arched like that, and she won. She was just like, yeah, and she's still in the fucking the end of the moon, not the moonsault, the suplex. A lot happened in this match.
There was a lot that happened.
The final 4 was Lyra Valkyria, Iyo Sky, Jade Cargill, Bianca. We got a real good stare down. And also you mentioned the Deadpool gear.
Yeah,
Deadpool gear was dope.
Fire. Yeah.
I loved this stare. And like
planting seeds.
And I liked how they're still the tag champs. They're still friends. I like they were looking at each other, both smiling. They're both like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, listen, it's a #1 contenders match for the world championship. Only one person can win.
Raquel and Liv end up assisting or I guess, assisting Lyra and Iyo, but what am I trying to say? Liv and Raquel were the reason that Bianca and Jade got eliminated. Bianca was over the rope, and then Raquel and Liv run up. They knock them over, blah, 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 maybe setting up Liv and Raquel versus the tag champs.
Well, they were, because I had the promo back and forth, I think, before the match.
They did have a segment,
And Liv, planting seeds, Liv was talking about Jade, like, you got to watch out because Bianca's going to stab you in the back. And then also talking about, like, friendship and stuff, like, you don't have the relationship me and Raquel have. Like, they were tag team champions of Raquel at one point. So makes sense that they're kind of targeting them, going after the tag team belts. I think it's like, I think they need it. I think it's just another, like, something to freshen up the Liv, everything going on Monday Night Raw here, just kind of make it a little bit more exciting. Especially
with Liv being the world champion, to throw her in the tag division elevates the tag titles. Exactly. You get everyone on TV. I mean, the biggest critique that we've had and a lot of people have is like, it's great that Bianca and Jade have the tag titles. They deserve gold, but they still need to be featured. They're still not featured as much. And these are two of your biggest stars. Yeah. And they need to be
and now
featured.
You just inserted arguably your biggest, and now you have them fighting over the belts. That's how you make it feel big.
It feels like we're on that train, especially with the stare down and with the seeds, and it feels like we're kind of
that's how you make
giving them
feel important.
Like we'll get Iyo and Liv maybe on
War Games, maybe
Survivor Series or main event. I guess it'll be one of the two. Yeah. They're really not. It's not like they don't have their mind made up, because like even with like Gunther and Damian, like they're not making anything set in stone 100%. Yet.
I don't think they haven't even sniffed announcing any matches for Survivor Series yet.
Lyra Valkyria, for what it's worth, also looked great. I mean, her and Iyo tore it down the final two.
I'm happy she got the final two spot. Because like when she debuted on the main roster, she was featured a lot, and I feel like over the last few months she really hasn't been up to much.
They've cooled down on her.
I mean, she's great, former NXT champion. It's a matter of story and what's going on, but it was nice to see her kind of getting that added spotlight. I think that was cool.
Had a really good Wyatt Sicks video featuring The Miz.
I am locked.
This is sick. This was cool.
And when the part when he goes, you have this all wrong. Like, you're looking for the final testament. He goes, we don't care about the final testament. We wanted you. Oh man! And I totally forgot too that Miz and Dexter had this big story years ago when Dexter debuted, and he was with the Miz, and Dexter kidnapped him. They had this
at
big
the end.
feud.
He was the one to like grab him or whatever.
At the end, Bo, it was Bo, not Uncle Howdy. And so many parts of that, just the close-up shots and just the look on Bo, gave so many, like, you just get brave from that.
The beginning was really cool when they showed a clip of younger Miz talking to Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
He was like, I'm gonna make your family, like, someone your family's gonna be proud of. I'm gonna make you stars. And Bo Dallas was like, obviously looked disgruntled, whatever. Man.
Miz pulling out the theater kid shots. I'll tell you that. He's throwing out the
no, please. It's not me that you want. It's a big misunderstanding, dude.
So good.
This is something that, like, genuinely is like 7 years in the making, because the whole Miz Taraj thing was like 2017. So it's like, we're gonna get so many callbacks. Miz and Dexter stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. They're gonna be able to use a lot of like the older footage and like they did this time, sneak that in, get some quotes, and
And again, I'm so happy that like this was Bo and not Uncle Howdy, because that's the one thing that I'm like, I want to see more of. Like, when this whole thing was starting, like, Bo was backstage, he met with Adam Pearce, Chad Gable called out Bo, and then it's kind of like we're just seeing mostly Uncle Howdy. I would just love to see that double, like a split personality, like how Bray was with the Fiend and everything. If we start to see more of that, and I think we saw that with the whole video package here, that's money. I think Bo fucking killed that. So did the Miz, but it was sick.
I like that. That's the direction they've chosen to go. Is that, like, Uncle Howdy isn't the Fiend. He's not the character. He's not this mystical whatever. Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas's Batman suit. He puts it on. He becomes Uncle Howdy.
Right.
And there is the split personality that they definitely played on, way earlier into this. But it does allow you to get, like you said, the callbacks with Dexter, do Bo Dallas stuff, and now you get the authenticity of Bo And then when he really goes crazy or whatever, he can put on the mask and you can have the two sides and whatever. But yeah, I agree. I think leaning into it being less Uncle Howdy, but Bo that Uncle Howdy gets brought out of is like really, really cool.
And what was I gonna say? And another thing too that I saw on Twitter, just a cool little like Easter egg callback, is when Miz was tied up and stuff, he had that mask on.
Yeah.
Same mask that Bray used on LA Knight when he kidnapped him and started there.
Oh, that's cool.
So just a little.
Oh, nice.
Just a little something to note. And
Nice.
people are making a lot of comparisons, like Bray stuff, old Bray things. But that was the biggest one.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I thought this was great. I think we were curious who they were gonna like. Is it gonna be Woods? Was it gonna be the Miz?
Because last week, and it wasn't on Raw, it was a post-show thing. They were interviewing the New Day backstage, and then the Miz was walking. He got kidnapped into the bus, so it was like, that
I didn't
happened.
see that.
Yeah, it was like a not even backstage. They were like outside, like in front of the trucks or whatever. I don't even know if it was. They were talking, and then the Miz got kidnapped. So, just like again, I think there's a lot of old things you can play back on. This feud's gonna be awesome.
Well, speaking of the New Day, War Raiders defeat New Day. We got another Xavier Woods kind of slip up. I don't have much else to say about this. It's just another instance of miscommunication.
Yeah.
Woods wanting to be the quarterback. He kind of screwed up. Kofi's getting a little
getting
annoyed.
annoyed.
Woods is still annoyed with himself, and War Raiders get the dub, and they look good. And that's kind of where we're at.
Did you see? I don't know if they announced it I think it was last night. Another video package after the show. They're playing one episode of Raw. I don't know when it is. They're doing the 10-year anniversary of the New Day.
Oh, I didn't see that.
An episode of Raw celebrating the New Day.
Like coming up.
I think it's coming up. Yeah, I mean they were like teasing it today.
I mean that's where you're gonna do it. That's where that's
so
the spot.
I've been seeing people were replying to it and saying like, oh, like Big E's gonna come back and like unite them or whatever. I think it's either So 12 hours ago, Adam Pearce announced WWE will dedicate a special episode of Raw to celebrate 10 years of the New Day.
Oh, bingo! I mean that's
when that is. I have no clue, but dude,
good stuff.
That could be the time when we see it. I mean, at this point, I feel like we're just week by week, we're just kind of getting closer to the inevitable.
Yeah, and I like that there's little, which I guess, we were kind of talking about the Bloodline stuff, like really going pedal to the metal. I like this is like each week, Woods messes up or whatever. You're slowly, whatever. We got to talk about Dragon Lee defeating Chad Gable.
Great match.
In a banger.
Great match.
They went crazy.
There was a lot of crazy spots this match.
There was this nice, I forget, Chad Gable did like, the run up the ropes in a crazy suplex. There was a lot of stuff.
Dragon Lee like went to run up to him and he did the belly to back suplex off the apron.
Oh, that shit was crazy.
Man,
laying on the floor.
I got the wind knocked out of me just watching that.
I'm going to pull up, I'm just going to Google it or put it on Twitter, see if there's highlights. But, I mean, this was great. Especially with, we got Rey Mysterio and Zelina came in, and you had
The Rock. God damn it, I love this shit.
God damn it.
That's good shit.
What the fuck is her name? I'm drawing a blank.
Ivy Nile?
Yeah, Ivy Nile. You had the Ivy Nile interference, and then this was crazy when he Dragon Lee slipped on the top rope, and then Gable just powers him up and still flip him.
Hey, that's a professional.
Really
right there.
crazy.
That's a professional. But also that singlet. No, it's like it's just typical American themed. Fire.
Yeah,
fire.
Very Kurt Angle. We got some use.
Very American made-esque.
But yeah, this was I love the kind of what I was saying. We're getting the tag team of Dragon Lee and Ray. Like we're getting some real Dragon Lee featuring. As
we should. I mean, he's been on the main roster for a little bit now, and he was like so hyped up in NXT when they brought him over and everything. So this is the
boink.
Oh,
it feels like now they're kind of realizing like, we should probably start figuring out our Rey Mysterio replacement.
And plus they lost Ricochet.
Yeah, that too. They
flyer,
need their high flyer.
You kind of need to make up.
Yeah, they went
hard.
Nuts.
Yeah, that match was
boink. We're watching kind of highlights of it while we're talking about it.
Yeah, man. Those are just two really good wrestlers.
Empowering them up, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
great
really
match.
crazy. All right, we'll move on from that. Well, all right. Well, I guess it was a Chad. Say what we're saying. We loved it. Was a Chad Gable loss.
Yeah,
know?
we talked about it last week. What's going on with American Made? Now Chad's losing. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
With the Ivy Nile interference, and there was some Ray and Zelina stuff. It makes it a little better.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of it also being a banger,
right?
That definitely helps.
Right.
Both these Dragon Lee also needed the win
needed
to
a
be
win.
Dragon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Dragon Lee. It puts Dragon Lee on the map a little bit more. So, but we'll see what they continue to do with American Made.
All right, we had Fatal 4-Way to determine the number one contender for Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest defeats Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio, and Sheamus in what was a really fun Fatal 4-Way. Kind of concluded with Bronson Reed interfering, beating the shit out of everyone. Dom was hiding the whole time. He almost took advantage of it. Damian breaks up at the last moment. He ends up earning his rematch against Gunther. We'll see you at Survivor Series or main event.
Yeah, no,
That's where we're at.
Yeah, solid.
Solid.
Sheamus was kind of the throw in here, so I never really kind of
Added a lot to the match, though.
They could
added a lot to the match.
1,000%, but I just didn't know if they'd revisit him and Gunther again.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I was pulling for Dom.
The last few
Dom.
weeks, they've really been making it sound like he's going to get a world championship match in the future. But yeah, I think that would have been the crowd would have fucking hated that if he won. But that would have been a good heel heat.
I think if the plan, it seemed like I said, they're planning on having this either Survivor Series or main event. If it was and the number one contender gets the match next week on Raw, then it would have been Dom. Yeah. And then you just get that out of the way.
I think him and Damian's a good pay-per-view match or a special event like Saturday night main event.
Saturday
Night Live. But yeah, no, I think this is a good one for Damian. Kind of keeping his momentum going. I don't know what's going on with him and Finn. Nothing, I guess. So, kind of keeping him in the main event picture. Great win. Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, like you said, got involved. So that's a shocker. That feud's going to continue. And yeah, no, I think I'm excited for Gunther Damian too.
I liked Bronson Reed taking out everyone.
Yeah, not just
Seth, but he was also well, if Sheamus and Damian are also in my way, I'm going to take them out. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we were saying. We want to circle back to it is yes, Bronson Reed lost the match at Crown Jewel, but this, I think the idea of Seth won and that just broke him. Mm-hmm. So now we get what we already thought Bronson Reed was this destructive monster.
Just wait.
Somehow he leveled it up, and now we're getting this, which is really cool. I love Dom hiding. Dom hiding was great.
I will say I was upset, not mad, upset that Bronson Reed lost at Crown Jewel. If he loses the second match, I'm gonna be pissed.
I agree with
pissed.
That.
You can't have him lose 2 in a row. That you can't be doing that.
Especially if the story is like we said. Now he's even more vicious. And then to lose again,
Seth Rollins.
You can try to do it again, but it's you leveled them up. Now you got to show that
and not for nothing. I feel like doing something like that, when it happened with Shinsuke, when Seth was the champ, he beat him 2 times in a row. The crowd was kind of pissed at something like that. I think the crowd would get mad at not turn on Seth.
Sure,
but
I could see that happening.
Bronson, you build him up just to lose again, and it's Seth is I get it, he's Seth and stuff, but that could turn some people off. So yeah, they gotta be careful with this.
In terms of Damian Gunther, like we were saying, I think a great special event match. I love that Damian earned the rematch. They're gonna revisit it. 2 big guys, but ultimately I see it as just it's a bounce back win for Gunther. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything.
I agree.
I don't think anything's going to change here.
Yeah, I think
maybe that's where we get Finn interference.
I was going to say I think I would prefer a clean match, straight up,
sure.
because the first Finn Balor cost Damian the
Right.
belt the first time around. So maybe have it be 1-on-1, make Damian look good even in defeat. But like you said, this could be a thing where Finn gets involved too. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
I think after this, we have yet to see. I'm sure they'll build Damian and Gunther pretty solid. Mm-hmm. If they build it as just the rematch and the 1-on-1, fine. After this, though, I want a Gunther story. Let's get a real story. I would imagine, when Punk had a promo a while ago, Punk was talking Gunther. He basically called him out. He's like, I'm talking about you. I want that World Heavyweight title. I'm thinking maybe this is too early. Maybe wait when you get closer to Mania. But I do think we got to do Gunther Punk. We got to we got to do Punk Seth.
A lot of people were, I think people were kind of hoping that would be the Survivor Series match, Gunther Punk. Obviously, he wasn't on Raw last night because it was in Saudi, so he's not there.
Yeah, I wonder how soon we're going to see him back. Because he did mention he's going to be away for a little bit for the Saudi
next
stuff.
Monday.
I would hope so. That'd be cool.
Because you still have like a little less than a month till Survivor Series, so you still have time. Like even if he comes back this upcoming Monday, you have a few weeks to build up him and Gunther. But at the same time, it's like Damian's there. So like you could wait till main event, but like, is that too far out? You could have Gunther Damian at Survivor Series and then maybe Gunther Punk at main event. Maybe you do that instead. But I would like to see CM Punk Gunther. I think that match is kind of I don't know. Not that I expect the match to happen, but the way that he was talking about it, I feel like that should happen.
I'm gonna be curious how, like, they are hyping up Saturday night main event. I'll be curious how actually, like, it is in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how much they actually make it like pay-per-view-esque. Like, is it gonna be, is stuff gonna happen? Is it just gonna be another crown jewel where it's like another house show?
Right.
Especially with it being so close to Survivor Series, I'm really curious what it's going to look like. Is it going to be special? Is it going to be just whatever? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We do, to round out the show, we do have some news that broke a few days ago. Baron Corbin, Indy Hartwell, and Tegan Knox were all three released by the WWE.
Sad.
Sucks. Sucks.
Indy Hartwell had a match on SmackDown that night. It was pre-taped.
Yeah.
Brutal, man.
I also heard, I guess, like a couple of days before it had Baron Corbin come in for like some Netflix filming or something.
Yeah, man. It's tough. Someone like Tegan Knox, it's unfortunate because she got re-signed a few years ago under Triple H, and like, she just never really got to get things going. I know she had some tough injuries prior to that, but I don't think. I saw a tweet that was like people being like, oh, like she got released because of injuries. Like the last 2 years, she's really only had one like injury. It was just before like she came back is when she had the major one. So she just never really had a chance. Baron Corbin, I mean, I
think Tegan and Indy's, not necessarily the injury, but like I think Tegan and Indy's story is like similar, where it's like, young, signed, coming from NXT, got the call up, and then just nothing.
Like
happened.
Indy Hartwell is like a prime example of like she got called up to the main roster. She shouldn't have. Like she was so great in NXT. She won the NXT Women's Championship. Forget about that happened.
Yeah.
And once she got onto the main roster, it was just like nothing going on. And then Baron Corbin, I mean,
I'm less surprised about that.
Yeah,
it still sucks.
It sucked, but it seemed like it was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Just he was great. I mean, he went back to NXT, was great with Braun, and then he got brought back up to the main roster, and then nothing. He started teaming with Apollo, but like that didn't really go anywhere. So
wasn't he back in NXT? Didn't he go back to NXT or no?
No, he was on the main roster. He went back to NXT like months ago and stuff, but then during the draft got drafted back to SmackDown, I believe. But
I mean, you see, it's
it's tough.
I honestly thought he was in NXT
exactly because he wasn't being used. He was a part of the tournament for what was it? Was it for the world? Yeah, it was the tournament like to crown a new world champion or to challenge Cody Rhodes, and he was in it. But besides that, he wasn't really being used much at all. So. Yeah, tough, but hopefully all three of them, I'm sure they'll find their footing elsewhere.
Indy made a post and she was like, don't be sad it's over, happy it happened, blah, blah. I haven't seen other posts from the other two, but hers seemed pretty heartfelt, no pun intended. But I'm curious if like she continues. To me, for whatever reason, the post seemed like I'm done, so I'm curious who... Between the three of them, I'm curious who kind of continues maybe with the indies. Yeah. Does AEW pick anyone up? I don't know. I'm curious to see.
I think they all have.
90 days.
90 days.
Yeah, that's the clause.
So we have to wait a little bit regardless. But I mean, they're young. Indy's young, like you mentioned. So I think she has a very bright future. All of them. I don't know.
I'm gonna say 29.
29. Oh, 28.
28.
28. Just turned 28.
To wrap up the show, there was some just because we were talking about the tag team match, but Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will defend their women's tag team championships against Liv and Raquel next week on Raw.
Wow. Okay.
So that's announced. That's official. It's kind of our speculating and what we were talking about.
There we go.
Rings true. But with that said, thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Let us know how you like the Tuesday release. Let us know. Does it make sense because it's closer to the weekend and Raw? Did you prefer Thursdays? What do you prefer? Let us know because that's very, very important. It's going to kind of dictate going on. Like we said, my GM Bros ended, so there's some scheduling stuff and some things kind of moving on to the next phase of things that we're kind of figuring out. So please let us know. I hope you enjoyed the Tuesday release, surprise Tuesday release, and please follow us on everything. Please subscribe. This is the free. Didn't plug this at the beginning. This is the free episode. If you want every episode ad free. I think there is an ad at the beginning of this. I'll tell you after. But oops. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for $5.99 a month. You can get ad-free episodes as well as a bonus episode where it's another hour of us chatting more wrestling and movies and answering you guys' questions and topics. So go check that out. Please check out the merch. And that's it. Bye. Bye. Goodbye.
See you on Patreon. See you in the after party. Boom. Peace.